And welcome to F1 Live Banter. We don't have a race this weekend, unfortunately. It's one of those sad weekends off before we head down to Australia. Perhaps one of my favourite races of the calendar. I think it's probably because when we were in Australia, we used to be able to go to the Melbourne market and we would actually drive around Albert Park. Is it Albert Park?
Yeah.
Albert Park?
Yeah.
To
and it was the first on the calendar for many years. It was always the one to look forward to.
Indeed. Shall we go around the room doing some quick intros?
Let's do it. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you may be. It's Bearded Sales Guy here, looking forward to our first episode where we don't have race weekend.
Yeah. What are we going to talk about?
Don't know. Maybe Ferrari. Maybe Ollie Bearman.
Yeah. We will definitely come on to Ollie Bearman.
Yeah.
Jensen, do you want to jump in?
Hey all, Jensen Abbott, BDR at content.ai. Really happy to be here and excited. Well, I say excited, we don't have a race weekend, so it's a little bit upsetting, but looking forward to next weekend.
Just excited to be amongst us.
Exactly, in the presence of you three beautiful gentlemen.
Indeed. That's a lot warmer a welcome than we received 5 minutes ago when we first got on the
behind the scenes.
Brilliant. And Augusto, last but not least.
Hey everybody, happy Friday first of all. Early morning over here in the Americas. A good afternoon to everybody over there in Europe. And not the race weekend, but some good news for the future, I'm sure.
Indeed. So shall we touch on the Saudi Grand Prix? Highlights, lowlights. I mean, it was pretty abysmal for Alpine yet again, DNF, and then Ocon didn't do too badly. His race was sort of ruined by Hulk.
Yeah.
By Magnussen, sorry, driving very slowly to let Hulk get a free pit stop.
Yeah. I thought, are we going to talk about Leclerc's comment about this being like Mario Kart?
Yeah, with all the rubbish.
Yeah,
indeed. At least no drains broke.
Although I think there was an issue in practice.
That was in Abu Dhabi, no, when the drain broke in practice.
What, where someone ran over it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think they were also fixing drains in
Jeddah.
As well.
Wow.
So no one ran over it and broke anything, but
they were just firming them all up.
Yeah, just to be safe.
Indeed.
Yeah. So Leclerc was picking up all the carrier bags that were floating around the track.
Yeah.
Getting stuck in bits of his car, and he said it's like the track's like Mario Kart.
Indeed. No banana skins.
No. What is on the agenda today, George?
Well, I don't actually have too much of an agenda, to be quite honest. I think we will talk about Bearman purely because I think he pulled an incredible shift out the bag, right? A couple of hours notice, he was on his way to the F2 and being called up to the Ferrari, almost knocking Hamilton out of Q3.
Yeah.
What was it? A couple of hundredths that he missed, and then to finish 7th in the weekend, it's incredible.
Learning how to use the KERS, the battery power.
Yeah, indeed.
What a growth mindset, huh?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable for an 18-year-old to understand how big an opportunity it is and to make the best out of it. You know, it makes me so proud. I imagine his dad.
I know. Well, it was funny. Ollie was, he just took it in his stride, but then they cut to David Bearman, his dad, and he looked like he was about on the edge of having a breakdown. He was in the
I'm about
garage.
to have a stroke.
The camera, I don't think he realised the camera was going to cut to him, and he was like this. That was close.
Brilliant. But I mean, he's not of a racing background, is he? So it was a whole new experience because you've got the likes of, Carlos Senior, who's done it, not in F1, but been there, done that, and it's, looks cool. So it was, I mean, it's huge, right? He had, is it the Ferrari owner? Ferrari CEO? Chairman.
Yeah.
That was behind him, like, hands on his shoulders. But he's thinking, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, incredible.
You've just got to try and stay calm in those opportunities, haven't you? And try and relax into it.
Yeah.
Not get too caught up in the moment. Must
Indeed.
be so difficult.
I mean, there's been in the past 2 years, there have been some pretty incredible fill-in drives. You had Nick De Vries at, was it Imola 2 years ago in the Williams, where he scored points. You had Liam Lawson coming for Danny Rick when he broke his wrist.
Yeah.
Did incredibly well. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple of rookies on the grid next year.
With so many open, is it open seats or just contracts that will come to an end?
Contracts that are coming to an end that haven't yet been
12,
renewed.
isn't it? 14. Wow.
Where do I apply?
Yeah, it's crazy. What was that, gents?
I said, where do I apply?
Yeah.
I mean, the name's on the hat already.
I have to say, we should probably let our audience know that we've heard over the years, Jensen is good enough to be a Formula One driver. He's good
enough to be a Premier League centre back.
Be a Premier League footballer.
That's
What happened? You injured a knee or both?
No, I just couldn't be bothered with it really. Too much to get into.
Too much training,
honestly,
right?
To get into
What's practice?
Yeah, and it's like Formula. It's like Formula One, though, right? You've got to get it. You've got to start at an early age. Right? It's more who you know than what you know. But
he still won't accept that he's not good enough.
And if anyone is watching from any Premier League football sides or F1 teams, I will take 10% of what anyone gets paid in the current team, and I'll do a better job.
I am your biggest fan, you know that, Jensen. You are capable of anything. But...
well, I was going to say, I could imagine your face if I was to get in an F1 race car.
Gents, this will be as close as you can get, and I'm sharing my screen. Alex, can you let me in?
Oh, nice.
It's the Jordan F1 Jordan Racing team is back in F1. I've got the Formula One 2023. Oh, we've lost Jensen.
Coming backstage.
I've got the steering wheel behind me and pedals. I'm making a case for a full sim racing system. Trying to get buy-in from the economic buyer, which is my partner.
Wedding or F1 sim?
I know where my vote goes.
Well, you say that for £200 you can get steering wheel, pedals, and a chair all in one, and that's very tempting. Yeah. I think we might have to start that co-op season again.
Yeah, the one that we had to restart each race like 10 times because Jensen took it too hot into turn one and took us both out.
I had the racing line.
What's your name? Verstappen. So one thing.
And also, on that note, just quickly, I saw. I don't like Tottenham Football Club, but actually, I like what they've done within their stadium. They've actually built an F1 go-kart circuit within their stadium, and there's 3 different tracks you can race, and they do a qualifying and a race. And I saw that and I thought, we need to do an F1 banter tour and have all of us go to the stadium and
Augusto,
race.
when are you next coming to the UK?
Well, I'm probably go to Spain this year, but at the end of the year, probably November. I'm not sure yet. So who knows? Maybe 2025.
Yeah. There's also
I do want to.
Sorry,
I
go
do want to go back to Bournemouth where I studied for a few months to
Nice.
bring back the nostalgia.
Indeed.
Nice.
Indeed. There's also the F1 arcade, isn't there, in London, which
Yeah.
had
There is
the big screens that did various simulators as well, which looks
Oh,
very
that's cool.
And can I just add as well? Can you remember in Dubai when we went to that track circuit where you used to take your bike, Alex?
City.
And I'm pretty sure. Remember that racing simulator? I'm pretty sure I finished first place in that, right?
Yeah, I think you might have.
been smoking something.
No, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
I'm
maybe
telling
in the
you.
sim, but not on the track. That's kind of how it works.
Yeah.
So a first for you. So last weekend saw a first.
Okay.
First time ever 4 English drivers have made it in the points. Not British, because there have been 4 Brits that made it in the points before, but 4 English.
Okay.
And they are
Bearman,
Russell
Norris.
and
Bearman, yeah.
Bearman.
Wow. That's
a moment right there.
that it is a moment. I'm shocked that it hasn't happened before when Albon's made it into the points.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Because he's racing with his
technically
Thailandese driver license. But if not, would be 5 on the grid right now.
Sorry.
And then if you think about Commonwealth, you have like 10 drivers.
Yeah, got the Aussies, the Canadians.
Yeah.
Indeed. There is a big story that's come out this week. Massa suing the FIA over the crash gate when who was it? I forget his name. Alonso's teammate when he was at Renault. It'll come to me. Crashed purposefully so that Alonso would stay in first. What basically happened was Hamilton won that season by 1 point. And Hamilton finished third that race, and Massa had a bad pit stop, so finished outside of the points. But yeah, Massa's suing the FIA, trying to get it overturned, trying to get the World Championship.
Nelson Piquet Jr.
Nelson Piquet Jr. There it is.
Yeah, because I remember that happening, and I remember, I thought Massa was going to win the championship, and then the shot cut to his dad who was celebrating, and then it was like, oh shit, hang on, Hamilton's now scored an extra point. It was such a crazy moment. I can imagine that Brazilians felt just like we did when what's his name? Mosley gave Verstappen his championship in 21.
Yeah.
One curve, one less corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so crazy. I remember, my childhood was watching Massa, and every time we were like, oh, yeah, he's good, but, he's not Senna. He's not 3-time world winner, and, the will to win. And he was, of course, always the second driver.
Yeah.
Because you have first Schumacher, then you have Alonso, and he was at both times in the middle of it, or with Kimi and everything. It was super sad, even though we had a lot of merch Even though we were kids, we had a lot of like merch of him and Senna, like shoes, t-shirts, and everything. So it's super cultural, and it has been lost in the last 20 years. I hope with the new drivers it comes to existence again.
Yeah, I almost wanted Massa to win. He deserved to win it.
Yeah,
What
was
when?
always the underdog.
Yeah, and that time was it the spring hit his helmet? It came off
Yeah,
someone.
Yes,
well,
right here.
it came off
Yeah.
one of the Brawns. It wasn't it off Button's car,
Was it?
and hit him in the head. Yeah,
I think it says about it on the documentary, on
Yeah.
the Brown GP documentary.
Surely that must have caused some
Oh
damage.
yeah.
yeah,
It
it fractured
knocked
his
him out.
skull.
Yeah.
It was it basically
Through the
back
helmet.
the road and hit just above the visor. Like if it would have hit,
It's lucky that it hit
I was
just
going to
above,
say
right?
if it hit the visor. I
Would have
mean, I
killed
know
him.
they're strong, but he was going at like 215 miles an hour. Just
Well, because you've got to take into consideration, right? They say that if, let's say, a car's going 200 miles an hour that way, right? If the spring falls off and is going that way, and then you've also got 250 miles an hour force also going that way, it's like more. Isn't it like more than 300 miles per hour of impact actually from the spring to?
Mm.
We're probably going into a bit of
This is my
science.
physics TED talk. But yeah, it's just incredible. He was always one of those characters on the grid that you couldn't help but love.
Yeah.
I think so. It's a real shame what happened, but I think because they're also suing for $150 million of the basically for the amount of sponsorship money he missed out on as a result of not being world champion.
Right.
That they've calculated, and I think okay, fair enough. If you're gonna try and sue them for the money, fair enough. But I just can't see the FIA turning over the world champion because it just sets such a dangerous precedent for moving forward. Because then Hamilton's going to contest Verstappen, and then whenever
And every
something
single
else
title.
goes wrong in the future, it just leaves them skating on very thin ice, I think.
Maybe they just don't, like with the Hamilton and Verstappen, they just don't change the rules. Do you know what I mean?
Or they just follow the rules.
Yeah, I think they just need to follow the rules, and when Wingy Horner starts crying, they don't. Do you know what I mean? But hey,
But no, what great! I mean, what great things this negative press is having for the sport, drama.
Yeah. Well, you've got Drive to Survive now.
We talked at the beginning of the season about, is it Liberty Global owning F1? Was it F1's worth 6.8 billion? I can't remember the exact number, or was it Liberty Global?
Something.
Like what, it'd be good to see how much that changes throughout this season. Yeah,
I think it will be. It will be interesting. I think there's been this huge growth, particularly since now there's 3 races in the States.
Mm-hmm.
Is it 3? Miami,
Vegas,
Circuit of the Americas. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's been this influx, but the last 2 years it's just been Red Bull domination. How many of those new viewers are we going to lose because it's predetermined almost, or it feels like the result?
Well, I've got an idea. Why don't we just let Max Verstappen start at the back of the grid, no matter where he finishes in qualifying?
Well, that's why he's moving to Mercedes, no?
It was.
But no, in all seriousness, though, right? I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it to someone on this call. But obviously, with them winning the constructors, they get limited or reduced wind tunnel time, right? But obviously, I think we can tell that actually the wind tunnel, that reduction doesn't actually have that much of an effect.
Yeah.
Because especially if they put fast cars last year, surely if they have reduced tunnel time, they're just going to use the similar stuff they've used on that previous car.
It doesn't matter when you've got Adrian Newey who can just see wind. he can how it's going to hit the car and bounce off it. It's
His avatar,
yeah, he
master
is.
of the wind.
Indeed.
Mm. He's a real airbender. He's a real airbender.
So
not as cheesy, but good. Yeah, this week.
No, I mean it from Avatar. There's like surely you've seen Avatar, right? The small bald kid who can bend.
Not Avatar the Blue Guys,
wind
but
and-
Avatar the previous one. From when we were kids.
Yeah.
So are we going to see him at Ferrari next year? Rumours have it.
Who?
Newey.
Come on, a blank check? I would.
Yeah.
If Hamilton is going, I would say I'm gonna go and make something huge with the best racing driver we have seen.
Yeah.
So why not?
Yeah. Because it's a good point you make. The rumour is Ferrari are offering him a blank check. Basically saying,
What does that mean? Like,
tell us
How
the amount of
many
money
you
you
want?
want. Tell us what you want and you have it.
Yeah, because Hamilton, we got a great deal with Hamilton.
We got a bargain with
Yeah.
Hamilton. He's made us 10 billion. We're swimming in dough. We don't know what to do with it. Adrian, come.
Hey, that
because aren't correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't Ferrari also trying to take some of Red Bull's
Yeah,
engineers?
like three of
Yeah.
them, 3-4 of them.
Yeah, 3 of them. I saw something about that. I thought, please, we can't see Red Bull dominate the sport anymore.
The thing is,
Right.
you can't even like in football when a club comes in and they spend a load of money. The fallback response is, "Oh, but you've got no history." But Ferrari are F1. They've been in the F1 since its inception. They've got money. They've got history. They've got a 7-time world champion, soon to be 8. The missing piece is surely
mean an 8-time
world champion.
Right.
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. It's an interesting one.
Yeah. Or Aston Martin pull it out of the bag this season, and we see several years of dominance.
Yeah. Is that you again, Alex, or have we actually lost Jensen?
No,
Oh.
There we go. Comfort break.
Calories knows. Yeah, it's a good point. I saw as well. Leclerc came out saying it's only a matter of time until we catch the Red Bulls, which I'd like to think is true, but we've seen last year, as soon as cars came within touching distance, that's when Red Bull got their upgrades as well and shot off down the road again.
Yeah. I feel like the gap is closer. So the gap isn't as wide as it was last year. What's interesting, though, which I didn't see coming, was Perez is up there, 1-2 each race. Because I did think that there was a seismic difference between, and there still is. I mean, 22 seconds the first race. Was it 12 seconds difference the second race or whatever?
13 seconds, I think it was,
to be precise. So I kind of expected Verstappen, because he is a good driver, right? There's no question he's a good driver, as much as it pains me to say that. He's aggressive as well. I thought we might see Perez drop further down the field, and we've got the Ferraris and maybe another team up there.
Yeah. Did anyone see how unhealthy Danny Rick looked? I don't know if it was just a couple of pictures that I saw, but he didn't look good. I mean, he's struggling a little bit on track. But
well, I know this was kind of his make or break, right? I think it was in the last season, Drive to Survive, because he did have that opportunity to maybe go look elsewhere apart from Red Bull for a team, and he said, "No, look, I'm kind of staying here." Then that opportunity. RB.
Helmut Marko has
But-
come out basically saying that he needs to get his act together on track.
But could you also think? I forget the team he previously raced for, but he got let go, didn't he, from that team? And he had a huge payout. Yeah, from McLaren. Had a huge payout, right? I think it was like 12.5 million. Do you think that kind of could have affected his career a bit, having that payout, maybe a little bit of time off?
Maybe. I think the thing with Danny Rick is I don't know. I would have loved to see him and Verstappen battling over the last few years, because it wasn't Red Bull that got rid of him. Obviously, there were a few incidents between the two of them where they made contact. So it wasn't as if Red Bull went, okay, well, we need to protect the team and just put our eggs in one basket with Max. It was Danny Rick that looked elsewhere and then moved to Renault. Maybe sensed the competition, sensed he wasn't going to be number one, and then left. But I would have loved to see how it would have played out, because he would have consistently had a car that was towards the front of the grid. Wouldn't have had all these issues. Would have had a sense of belonging throughout, and maybe the opportunity has passed.
Do you not think when you're in that team situation where you've got two world-class drivers, that that the bias is such that one's going to be favoured?
Potentially, yeah.
Because you look at
with the best leaders, but I just don't think Horner is a very good leader. I don't think he's a very good people leader. I don't think he can manage to talent.
Look 20 years back at Red Bull. Well, 15 years with Vettel and Weber. Same thing. They hated each other.
Yeah.
And they wanted to crash each other every race.
They did. And Hamilton and Bottas, that seemed to be a good partnership.
Yeah.
But
Following
Rosberg,
Hamilton and Rosberg, I know.
Yeah. Although Rosberg did get his win, but I think it was so much relief that he thought, "Sod this, I'm done with the sport."
Yeah,
I'm done with being in the driver's seat. I'm going to go on the presenter side of things.
Be a commentator. Imagine the pressure, right? You're fighting against the best guy that everybody's seen in a while, and you're the second driver. You're nothing. You're nobody. And it's like, I'm gonna prove them wrong. Like suddenly, Bottas accepted the second row too well. I would say that's the problem, right? Or Perez, you can't. As a racing driver, you want to be number one. And I think with Danny Rick, he was just too stubborn. Like, I think he was, my daddy tells me that, I am the favorite child. No, you are come on. Like, just accept the reality and, put everything you have on the track.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like a conversation we used to have around the dinner table.
Who the favourite is.
And who's the favourite child?
Gents, just accept that you're the second driver.
I've come to accept that, but what I'm worried about is I'm going to miss out.
You're
on the
going to be
second driver.
reserve driver.
To the third driver.
No.
I may as well just step out the car and become like a pit crew.
Oh, dearie me. No, one thing I am quite glad about is just how Bottas is. He's in his like Kimi Raikkonen years where he just doesn't care. That video you sent me the other day where he's wearing the Victorian Bitters budgie smugglers running slow-mo down the beach with his tash and his mullet just sort of blowing in the wind.
Let me see if I can get that.
So good. So good.
Right, you might be able to see it.
Oh my! When you reach the moment of seniority.
Can you get it? Can you get it up on your? Is that Bottas?
Yeah.
That's Bottas in Budgie Smugglers with his little Aussie cash. Look,
He's Australian
just does
outside
not
of
care.
Australia, I know.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
But honestly, it was just
It's
comical.
brilliant.
It was really
Yeah.
funny. And I must say, George, those videos you've sent me of the guy rapping about
Oh, it's
Formula One, that's
incredible, isn't it?
quality. That is
We'll
incredible.
have
What
to
we'll have to do
create.
is find our favourite.
Yeah, we'll have to create a WhatsApp group where we can put everything in. But yeah, no, really, really talented chap. Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Cool. So, should we? I'm conscious of time and topics.
Yeah.
Should we spend a couple minutes talking about what we can discuss next week? Obviously, it's going to be race weekend, I believe.
Indeed.
But in addition to that, we've touched on driver pairings. Do we go deeper on a couple of topics?
Yeah, let's. Are there any topics that spring to mind?
Yeah, I think we could talk about biggest crashes.
Okay.
You're on mute, gents, I think.
That's a good one.
Look, this is my forte. This is what I'm good at.
I should add some of my own personal crashes.
Indeed.
Most controversial moments.
Yeah. And what will we
do them today?
Yeah. Will we bring one each for each of these topics?
We could.
And we talk about them.
Discuss them one by one. Yeah. Perfect. Anyone in the audience got any ideas?
Could do our first memory of F1.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I was about to mention it earlier. I was going to say, when all of you talk about kind of the legends of F1, I don't really remember that. What I remember is sat in your BMW 1 Series and all you would listen to was the same voice talking about F1 every time. I can't remember his name, but you always used to listen to the same guy.
What, the commentator, Murray Walker?
Murray Walker.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. That's the one. Yeah, I remember. Oh, the good old days.
Augusto, I'm curious. Have you always been a Ferrari fan?
Yeah, because Brazilians have been raced for Ferraris since I was a child, because I was born in '99. So I grew up all the 2000s. So Massa and Barrichello, and so yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe you could pick something from the Ferrari years, or a topic that's close to your heart for next week. Sure. Yeah. Favorite race year. That's a good one.
Perfect. And we will have to we'll have to also do, when we're getting closer to silly season, we'll do a prediction of what the grid is going to look like next season.
When you say silly season, where's that from? Is that your term?
No, it's there's a period, sort of May time, I think, May, June, where typically that's when contract talks take place.
Okay.
And it's become known as silly season because that's when all the moves sort of get announced.
Okay. Wouldn't it be funny if Adrian Newey signed a deal with Ferrari and he got paid more than Hamilton?
Oh,
it's possible.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
But do you know what? That must, if Ferrari do, well, no, sorry, Ferrari have got Hamilton as a driver. If they do get Adrian Newey, just think like how much money that would bring in for Ferrari and building this kind of solid team, right? And actually, it would.
And they mess it up on strategy.
Yeah.
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 But it would be perfect.
I thought you missed that, Augusto.
Sorry.
Sorry, gents, just to jump in there because that was a corker. As a Ferrari fan, I think you'll appreciate it. Jensen was just saying that. Just imagine Ferrari secured Newey and they got these new engineers and they had everything, and then didn't win and lost it. And Jordan said lost it.
It's very probable. I'm not gonna lie. It happens, you know.
Yeah. How many years has it been since Ferrari got a championship? 14, I want to say.
The last championship?
Yeah.
2007.
2007.
Yeah, Kimi.
That was a good year. That was the year the favourite son was born.
Good joke.
Yeah, it's a joke. Jude was born, their brother, Augusto, that year.
Oh, nice. Oh, I was thinking here about, first memories, and I just remember the exact corner, like the first one I saw, and I was like, wait, I know the year, I know around which month was it, and I just put here 2006 Grand Prix, and it's literally my birthday. I was like, dude, it has to be it. Is that first, that super hard corner on Canada on the track? What is it?
In Montreal.
Gilles Villeneuve. Villeneuve. I don't know how to pronounce that in French.
Yeah, Villeneuve. Yeah.
That first corner, and I remember, just the Ferrari red turning into it. It's like, oh man, that's crazy. I was like 6-7 years old.
Love that.
Nice. Yeah, we might need to get some clips ready.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about some of this stuff. Okay.
Good stuff. Well, gents, it's been a pleasure yet again. Looking forward to next weekend in Melbourne. Just before we do go, winners? Who's going to win the Melbourne Grand Prix? Unanimously Verstappen?
Yeah, unfortunately, even though I'd like to see someone else win.
Yeah.
I'd like to see one of the Aston Martins or the McLarens.
I was going to say Piastri winning that'd be a statement, wouldn't it, to Red Bull saying give me Verstappen seat next year.
With Bottas second, the two Australians 1-2.
Oh, do you know what? We need to keep an eye on Bottas's Instagram and TikTok, because there's going to be some gold content in our.
There always is. He's such a funny guy.
Good stuff. All right, gents. Well, enjoy your weekend, and I will speak to you next week.
See you guys.